Welcome to Staffing Service USA. Staffing Service USA is a locally owned and operated company since 1985, focused on connecting with communities and businesses throughout central Pennsylvania. We are committed to providing customized employment solutions for our customers and employees, and on forming unique partnerships with our clients that encompass our core values of ethical practices, commitment, integrity, reputation, honesty, quality relationships, helping society, and trust. At Staffing Service USA, we are committed to providing a reliable workforce to our clients and a safe work environment for our employees. The following slides detail our expectations and guidelines for the following: attendance policy, conditions of employment, policy and procedures, general safety guidelines, workers' compensation and injury protocol, and our drug-free workplace policy. Always call Staffing Service USA to report the following: scheduled appointments, sick time, tardiness, early departure, and anything else related to attendance. It's very important to remember that Staffing Service USA is your employer. Again, please report all appointments and time off of work directly to us before it happens. Excellent attendance is a must within your first 30 days of work. Perfect attendance may result in additional benefits depending on the client you're replaced with. For more information, please ask our recruitment team. We may require you to provide documentation for any time off, sick, or otherwise. Please have documentation on hand if possible. Are you planning to go on vacation? That's great. We just ask that you provide our team with at least 3 days' notice for all planned time off, including scheduled appointments. If you are calling off for an emergency or sick time, you are required to contact us 2 hours before the start of your shift. If you do not call off as required, your absence will be considered a no-call, no-show and may result in your termination. If you are calling in after business hours, please dial 1 for our 24-hour answering service. It's important to remember you are employed through Staffing Service USA, and you are not employed by our client you are assigned to. Staffing Service USA expects ample notice of 1 to 2 weeks if, for any reason, you need to leave a job permanently. Excessive absenteeism may result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. The presented information is just an overview of Staffing Service USA's attendance policy. Please be sure to read and understand the documentation that accompanies this presentation. It's important for you to remember that you are an employee of Staffing Service USA. Therefore, all issues or concerns must be directed to Staffing Service USA related to the following: safety concerns or injury, discrimination or harassment, job or position changes, department changes, shift or time changes, ending of assignment, special uniform or safety equipment, and any other problems or concerns while on the job. Remember, our team is available to discuss and address your concerns. It is critical that you remember that the client company you are assigned to is under contract with Staffing Service USA. Please notify Staffing Service USA immediately if a client offers you direct employment while on assignment or within 180 days after your assignment has ended. Again, this is due to contractual reasons with Staffing Service USA company clients. General employment. Positions offered are temporary, temp to hire, contract, and permanent. Assignments vary in length and are subject to termination at any time. Employment with Staffing Service USA is also subject to termination at any time. At Staffing Service USA, full-time employees are offered benefits through Staffing Service USA. If you are hired by a client, your new benefits will now fall under your new employer's policies and procedures. Staffing Service USA will have no control over your new benefits. Be on time. It's your responsibility to report to your assignment on time daily. Please report at least 5 to 10 minutes before the start of your shift to be in your work area. Do not leave a job for any reason without first notifying Staffing Service USA. Availability. Notify Staffing Service USA as soon as your assignment ends. You must call our team weekly after your assignment ends with your availability. If no contact is made weekly, employees will be considered a voluntary quit. We know change happens. You move, your number changes, your email changes, direct deposit or banking may change. Please notify Staffing Service USA of any of the following changes immediately: phone number, address, email address, direct deposit or banking information. Changing your information is required for the following: tax documentation, insurance documents, availability for job offers, location-based. Essential job functions. Upon acceptance of a job, you are required to perform the job duties as explained. Refusal to do so will result in termination. If you are unable to perform the job or the job functions change, please notify Staffing Service USA immediately. You represent Staffing Service USA. Always wear appropriate attire that is conducive to your work environment. Our clients have GMPs or best practices which you are required to follow. The following may be unacceptable at our client locations and may be prohibited, or may need to be modified or covered in the workplace. The following items are inappropriate tattoos or any tattoos, gauges or facial piercings, multicolor hair, false fingernails and or fingernail polish. Again, you represent Staffing Service USA while at a client site. Please be professional and courteous at all times. Be cautious of using slang and offensive language. Inappropriate comments will not be tolerated. Notify Staffing Service USA with any employee or client concerns. Remember this word: pomegranate. Cell phones are a safety violation. Cell phones are prohibited on the job and are not allowed on the production floor. Cell phones are to be off and put away while on the job and should be left in your car, locker, or with your supervisor. Cell phones are not to be around equipment or on the production floor. Cell phones are not to be on while operating equipment of any kind. Any violation of the cell phone policies will be grounds for termination. Arriving at work on time is your responsibility. If you're sharing a ride, you are expected to have backup transportation in place. Having reliable transportation is required for continued employment. Please ensure that you can get to the job you are committing to. Being on time and having good attendance promotes the following: additional opportunities, possible permanent hire, advancement and job security. Please follow all safety standards, policies, and procedures as outlined by your employer. Further safety policies and procedures will be provided for you during your client-specific training if needed, and the client will complete additional site-specific training if and when necessary. Please report any injury, accident, or unsafe conditions to Staffing Service USA. Work-related accidents will require drug testing as a condition of continued employment. Staffing Service USA has a zero tolerance for the following: unlawfully manufacturing, possessing, or distributing controlled substances, use of or being under the influence of drugs or alcohol, possession of weapons of any kind will result in immediate termination. Staffing Service USA must have accurate timesheet in order to pay an employee. Timesheets must be approved by the employee and the client. Timesheets must be submitted Mondays by noon by you or the client. It is imperative that your timesheet is received in a timely manner. Contact us at info@staffingserviceusa.com to submit your weekly timesheet. Payroll contact information. Staffing Service USA pay week runs Monday to Sunday. Payday is on Thursday after 12 noon for the previous week's work. Additional pay information. Staffing Service USA makes payments by pay card, direct deposit, and check. The first pay is typically by pay card unless the direct deposit is in place. Deposit advices will be emailed weekly, so please be sure all your contact information is up to date, including your email and contact number. Violation of Staffing Service USA safety rules and regulations will result in disciplinary action up to and including termination. Report any injury or unsafe condition to Staffing Service USA and your on-site supervisor immediately. For any workplace injury, all involved employees will be screened for drug and alcohol impairment as permitted by law. Horseplay or sleeping is prohibited at all times while on customer premises. Safety-sensitive and non-safety sensitive jobs will be identified for safety expectations. Use, possession of illegal drugs, alcohol beverages is not permitted on the job or customer premises. Any employee discovered under the influence of alcohol or drugs will not be permitted to work and will be terminated. Dress codes. Orientations will be provided per client location you are assigned to. You must follow the customer's dress code requirements covered in the specific orientation and Staffing Service USA's, and they will include appropriate clothing, footwear, and any personal protective equipment at all times. You may be assigned certain personal protective safety equipment. This equipment should be available for use on the job, maintained in good condition, and worn when required. Items that may be required are ear protection, eye protection, foot protection, hard hats, hair nets or beard nets may also be required. Notify Staffing Service USA immediately if your job functions change from your original assignment. All changes need to be approved by Staffing Service USA. Operating equipment. Unless part of your initial job description, do not run machines or equipment, forklifts or powered lifts, vehicles. Staffing Service USA wants to ensure your safety and proper training and must approve any changes in advance. Forklift, powered lift operators must be trained and certified for the specific piece of equipment to be operated. You must notify Staffing Service USA that the certification is completed. Provide a copy of the certification to Staffing Service USA within 3 business days of receiving the certification. Do not operate any motorized equipment without Staffing Service USA's approval. Call Staffing Service USA immediately for approval. When in doubt, contact your supervisor and ask for additional instruction or training. To contact Staffing Service USA with any safety concerns. Safeguards. Never remove or bypass safety guards or tags on equipment. Never put your hands in equipment, even if machine is locked out. Make sure the operator can see you, and never approach someone operating machine from the blind side. Staffing Service USA employees are not responsible for lockout-tagout functions. Proper certification and training is required for lockout-tagout. Only employees who are trained in lockout procedures and have been provided their own lock can work or clean inside the operation part of any machine. Obey all safety signs and tags. Contact Staffing Service USA if asked to complete lockout-tagout. Make sure you're aware of the client evacuation procedures and meeting places in the event of an emergency, whether in the building or outside. Know where the emergency exits are located. Clean workspace. Maintain a general condition of good housekeeping in all work areas at all work times. Be aware of tripping hazards and floor obstacles. Be alert. Be alert to hazards that could affect you and your fellow employees. Do not take shortcuts. Always perform your assigned task in a safe and proper manner. Taking shortcuts and ignoring established safety rules is a leading cause of workplace injuries. Proper lifting. When lifting a load, you should lift with your legs and keep your back straight. Loads over 50 pounds require a two-person lift. If you are asked to lift over 50 pounds by yourself, notify Staffing Service USA immediately. HCS requires chemical manufacturers, distributors, or imports to provide safety data sheets, known as STSs, formerly known as Material Safety Data Sheets, or MSDSs, to communicate the hazards or hazard chemical products. Do not use any chemicals or hazardous materials until you have been trained on the hazards and the safety handling PPE required for each of them. Be aware at the client's site of all hazards and precautions when working with chemicals and hazardous materials. All clients are required per OSHA to make sure the SDSs are available to employees. Notify Staffing Service USA immediately if SDSs are not available. Remember, when safety is in doubt, contact your employer, Staffing Service USA. Remember this word, pomegranate. Workplace safety is top priority. The Workers' Compensation Employee Notification Form details the following: immediate processes for medical emergencies and doctor follow-up. Remember, it's your responsibility to contact Staffing Service USA immediately if you are injured. You must obtain treatment from one of our medical providers on our provider list for the first 90 days from the date of your first visit, as well as obtain a follow-up with a panel physician within the first 90 days. Drug and alcohol use is strictly prohibited in the workplace. Drug testing may be required for pre-employment of assignment. A list of safety-sensitive prohibited job examples are operating motorized vehicles, machine operators, equipment that requires lockout-tagout. Please read our drug-free workplace policy in detail. Please remember, Staffing Service USA is your employer. All of our documents and videos are accessible online or at the office. Please be sure to read the forms that accompany this presentation. If you have any questions or concerns, please direct them to our recruiting team. Welcome to Staffing Service USA team.